Alright, up on the bench today we have my new Timberland Pro 9-inch Ripsaw logger boots. These guys are brown leather, waterproof leather with a waterproof membrane coating over them to beat up the water and have them roll off. They are steel toe. They have flaps here on the outside of the tongue to keep any water from coming in that way. Definitely a handy feature to have. You know, if you're going to be working your boots all day, you don't want wet feet. That's the fucking worst. Let's take a closer look. Alright, on these guys, you have the dual purpose hardware up top, so you can lace through the eyelet or go around the hook, and depending on your preference. The low profile hook comes in, so that way if you are a climber, you're not hooking on things unnecessarily. You have grips on the top of the boot, both sides, this little flap here. That way you can pull the boot on easier. Just grab them on the outside, pulling them on up. Definitely a pretty nice feature. These are steel toe, and they are also steel shanked, running down the width, the length of the shoe. So for climbing, you know, I plan on using these for spur climbing. It's definitely going to give you more support and be less stress right here on your heel or on your arch. They are high heel, so you get a good traction. You know, they call it ladder lock here, but for spur climbing as well, you know, your gaff isn't going to go slipping out of the back or anything like that. They are mesh lined, and that is also antimicrobial, so you'll get less bacteria growth in there. They won't smell as bad. They do have the proprietary Timberland Pro ISN, like independent suspension network or something like that. But basically it's an anti-fatigue system, so you're not going to get tired as fast. It absorbs some of the shock, keeps you going. These are Vibram soles, or Vibram soles, I don't know how to pronounce it. So you get good traction, good durability, non-slip, non-marking, oil resistance, all that you expect out of a quality boot. All right, let me read the list here. They meet criteria for I-75, C-75, ASTM, F2412-11, F2413-11, F2892-11, and ANSI standard Z41. So they're electrically safe, and the steel toe meets the criteria for a safety shoe. Also, the welt on these is genuine leather welt with the Goodyear bond, so you're not going to, you know, rip the upper from the lower anytime soon. That's really about it. These guys are size 11. You know, tennis shoes I wear 10.5. You know, I always allow a half size bigger on my work boots so I can put some extra socks on. Generally, if they're not comfortable, these ones are amazingly comfortable. I have yet to work in them. I'm going to make this video first, and then I'll do a follow-up video here in a little bit once I've done some climbing with them and all that. The reason I went with the Timberlands, these are what I wore, well, not this particular model, but I wore the Timberland Pros when I was in the Navy. You know, on the ship, on deployment, you're in your boots pretty much all day, every day, except for when you're sleeping. And even then, sometimes you just sleep in them because when you wait, you know, you don't have much time to sleep, so you can just wake up and go back to work. But anyway, they were phenomenal. You know, I had really good luck with them. They were comfy. They lasted a long time. So I'm hoping these do the same thing. They were a little bit more expensive than the Red Wings I was looking at. Those were just over $200. The nicer models are more expensive than that, but these guys I think were like somewhere right around $250. So I don't know. I'll give it some time, do some climbing in them, see how they hold up, and then I'll do a follow-up video and let you know. All right, so I've got them on and laced up now, so you can kind of see about how they fit. I'm 5'9", so I'm by no means the tallest or shortest person in the world. They come up, you know, but not quite to my calf, but you know, they're not like the high Wescos or anything like that. I don't do a whole lot of spur climbing. But also, I failed to mention in my other video, these do have the 30-day guarantee. So even if your reseller, I bought these from Amazon, so they have a return policy. But even if your reseller doesn't have a return policy, if you're not happy with these in 30 days and they're not comfortable, which they are incredibly comfortable, you know, they'll take them back, give you a full refund. I haven't actually done a day of work in these, but just from, oh yeah, you can see I fucked up there anyway. You know, from experience, you know, you can't really judge a boot until you've actually worked in it, but you can get a good idea, and these ones are going to be nice. The only cons so far, or two cons so far, one is that they didn't come with any care instructions. you know, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've had plenty of boots and you know how to take care of them. But for anybody new that's getting their first pair of boots, it's pretty important that you treat them properly. They'll last a whole lot longer. You know, they're not cheap pieces of equipment, and so you want them to last. And also, I mean, this is going to be with any climbing boot, but mobility definitely hampered some. You know, they're not super heavy, but you know, they do kind of hold your ankle locked in place. I'm not going to be using these for non-spur climbing. I'm really looking at the Arb Pro clipping steps, but with the lawyer I recently had to pay for, I got to save some more money for those. Those will have to come later. So these are what I have for the moment. So far I'm happy with them, but you know, over time we'll see if I stay happy with them. Anyway, have a good one, humans.